Okay, I accidentally clipped it again. So we're talking about backhand options with the puck here. So we'd have Zod across directly, or trying to go kind of sweeping it back behind you. You might need to curl your stick angle like over the puck a little bit, like one angle maybe over it, and then just kind of sweep it back behind you. Um, and that would be probably a pretty safe play if you like mess it up and somehow Moose ends up getting it, because we would have Zod potentially there to clean it up if you misplay the backhand. So we'll just continue on from there. So this one, it's is a positioning thing. So we have Galich going to forecheck it, which is fine, and then Zod, because he was up, just the way the play developed, he's basically the second forward here. We have Quacky covering essentially right D, and then that means more. You should actually shift over to left D, and basically you're responsible for covering Gaze. But instead, we're just a little late, because ideally you should have been already heading over there, kind of. Like, I'd prefer right here, you're actually turning to head over here and basically setting up to become the lefty as Zod follows this up, and then Quacky would cover this side of the ice. And yeah, I mean, you do get over there eventually, but so like right now you're looking kind of directly ahead. You do eventually shift, but I'd realistically want you to be setting up to cover Gaze, basically, like right here. And that way, as this happens, you would, instead of being where you are now, you'd probably be maybe here-ish. And so, I mean, it just makes it that much easier to come over and cover Gaze as this play develops. And you just have a little bit tighter. Gaze would have less room to work with. So again, you'd be maybe here-ish would be probably better, because then you could, depending on if you think you can close the gap, you could step up right away, or you could curl with him, but you just got to make sure you wouldn't be able to cut inside, because he does get a pass cross. I mean, that would have been a really tough play to make for them. Oh wait, I missed one. So this one right here, good body. Then Zod, just, I don't know if it was panic, but kind of, he should have recognized, you should have saw the body happen here and realized he has potential to make a big play here, because Moose is all the way back here. This guy's taken out, this guy's behind, this guy's behind. So we basically have 2-on-0 essentially, because this guy's so far back. So if he just either just doesn't even try and play it off the boards, or just does it a lot softer so that it can land right around here, basically, so that either him or Galich could pick it up. I mean, I think that's what he's trying to do, just a little bit too much. So, I mean, it seems like a minor play, but this easily could have led to a really good opportunity that just a slight adjustment, and it goes too far. And this one's just Galich playing this a little too tight, gets kind of beat here, which allows them to get, I mean, not a great chance, but a chance. And yeah, I mean, maybe just slow up a little bit. He does good play here, but we don't want that to happen too frequently. Here's one where I think a play I kind of like to do, I mean, it's a little tricky. So we have this guy coming in, and so he has basically two options of how to play this. He could potentially just go directly to the boards and make sure you can't easily wrap anything around. But then that's potentially dangerous if Zod decides to curl with it this way or go up middle to gouge basically. If like he just immediately turns and passes, so he could again basically play it direct or cover here. So Zod's got to pay attention to that. If he sees the guy pull off here, then maybe he just sends it right away to gouge up middle because he does have a little bit of a pocket. But if he goes directly to Zod, then either wrap around sharp like all the way around the boards, so like because he ends up banking it, and that is more dangerous than it should be because he actually so if he was a little bit closer he could have picked that off. But another option is because the way your stick's angled, if you just send it kind of high off the boards, it depending on how you hit it, it'll either like bounce off here and then kind of come directly down. It's hard to show it. Or if you do it a little bit softer, you can kind of try and, especially if you angle it properly, you can go high off the boards. It'll kind of rim around and then drop down past this guy's stick, so that you want to try and get it to drop right around this area, and then this guy can skate into it. So I mean that's just another option because of where your body's angled, how your stick's angled. If you just send this high off the boards, it'll most likely drop. And even if it doesn't drop here, because Gouch is here, as this comes around, he could skate into it too if you do it like that. But either way, I mean, we get the pot. Well, we kind of miss, but because you didn't go back to this, if you go like try and rim it completely so that it doesn't bounce off the boards, then it's a lot easier for him to receive it, obviously, because he just basically leaves the stick on the boards. But because of the bounce, it's a lot harder to receive that puck. I mean, that's a puck I think Quacky often will receive. So I mean, it was a good read. Just think about other ways of executing it, basically. This one, we skipped one. Gouch. So if you do a lookup turn, you like sort of do. It's kind of like a lazy lookup turn. You see how you like do a little jitter? If you actually do a full lookup turn, you would have been able to basically get right here and take a immediate backhand shot because this puck's coming basically right here. So if you took a sharper turn, set yourself up to take a backhand shot, and you have a guy that ends up right in front of the net too. So you'd shoot it basically right here if you were to turn sharper, and you have this guy here. And you still almost land a pass there, which would have been sick. Here's lost coverage. So more, you gotta just make sure you follow Gaze here, because if this red guy would have hit this right here out of the zone, he would have had Gaze basically. Oh no, I guess not. But here's where you lose him, and you cover him though, so not a huge deal. But just depending on, you don't know what's gonna happen here, so you want to be just prepared to. No, I guess never mind. Just ignore that whole thing. You do a pretty good job there. So that one, I think. Oh wait, no, it's at 2:16. So we're gonna skip ahead. Let's watch that real quick since it happened. Pretty nifty. Quacky actually had a bunch of wraparound attempts on this team, so that's something to potentially try and exploit next time we play him is it seems like if it gets behind their net, they're not exactly sure how to play it. So we're going to jump all the way ahead to here. And I think this one was my fault. I think I told Galich to pass it back to Mort. So Galich sends this back to Mort, and it does look kind of open here. Potentially, if you just send it right now, you could have gotten it, but you don't have your stick on the ice. I don't know. I think you hesitate sort of. Like, you should have been hitting it basically right now, and then it would have gotten to Mort. But anyways, Jeetler ends up able to pick this off. The other option we had was Zod over here, and I don't know if Zod called this or not. He may have. If not, that's something defensemen should be calling. You would have had to, well, actually no, you might still be in position. You'd have to lift your stick and send it that way, but potentially you'd have had to alter how you attack this puck to be able to do that. Yeah, I guess we'll just let it play. And then right there, Mort, you gotta make sure you take the body because at this point, you should recognize Jeetler's potentially going to get this, and if so, you just have to make sure he doesn't get past you because he doesn't. There's no one else we have to worry about back here. So if you take away the body, there's not a ton they can do. Good job by Galich there, coming back. Next one, we're going to skip ahead. So this one, a few things. So Zod's potentially a little too deep here. I don't mind it too much because Gaze is pretty well covered by Mort here. And the rest of their guys are all right here. And because where the puck is, there is a potential option if he passes this. I mean, it's kind of risky because there's three guys right here. But you could potentially pass it directly over to Zod to set up a shot. But because of how deep or how aggressive Zod's playing this, Mort, you got to make sure you stay on Gaze. Because right here. So, and then basically you have to read this too. Because you've essentially lost coverage on Gaze. Effective cover, I should call it, I guess, because yeah, you can kind of turn back and get maybe in front of him, but if this puck was coming hard around, which it actually isn't, but if it was and it gets past Zod, you're not in a position to really stop Gaze here. He's about to skate past you. So because of that, you have to be thinking, so if Zod misses the puck, what's going to happen with it? And what's going to happen is it's going to bounce and kind of drop right here. Whoops, I used yellow. So you basically should be forfeiting coverage on Gaze and more focused on preparing if Zod misses this puck and covering this guy because no one can cover him. And essentially then Cap is sort of responsible for Gaze, and if this kind of dribbles out to Gaze, potentially Cap just comes out right away and pressures him. Oh, and Zod just didn't take a great turn on this. If he just keeps skating with it, yeah, it might get past him, but he's not going to lose all momentum, so he might be able to back check and make a play on Moose if like Mort can slow him down or something. So you got to recognize this isn't going to land for you and just basically keep skating because if he doesn't do that turn, he probably can curl back and probably even get the puck and potentially take a shot. So yeah, it's kind of unnecessarily risky. But then it dribbles out right to Moose. And Mort, you have to recognize, you have to just forget about Gaze because watch as this develops. We basically are, we can't afford to just let Moose skate this all the way up. We'd much rather force him to make a nice pass to Gaze, because like he's gonna be skating basically like this. Gaze actually does a pretty good job, and he kind of curls a little bit outside, because what that does is it makes it, as he skates this up, it gives an easier pass across. I forgot what I was even saying, but yeah, so we want you to, it's tricky because of the spacing, but I think what you potentially do, why is this, is you curl super sharp, and instead of like trying to play Moose, you actually just keep curling up. And so basically you shorten your gap up so that he might then be here and you're here instead of being this deep. And it also would avoid allowing Gaze to body you. So I think that's how we want to play it, is curl sharp and then try and aim it so that you can curl with Moose, and hope what that does is hopefully Moose either panics and shoots or panics and passes and messes up either of those. But we don't want to just keep skating with Gaze at this point, and definitely don't do that. But luckily he can't shoot, and then he can't shoot. But yeah, these spin turns our defense have to stop doing, where you lose all momentum. If you're not going to turn, then at least just slow down. Like basically completely cut your speed, let him get closer, and then as he gets maybe to like here, then you start to speed back up. And again, the closer you are, the easier it is to get your stick in their way and kind of just fuck with them basically, and force them to get nervous and do something. But if you give him this much space, I mean, he knows he has a clear path. He could have kept skating. Is that so that was, we just missed one. This was just soft pass here. No reason to go high off the boards on this play. Just tap it up and let Gouch skate into it. Or, I mean, if you're going to do it soft, just keep it on the board so that, I mean, if you're going to go high off the boards, keep it so it doesn't bounce and go that way, so that it can get all the way up to Quacky Face around here. So you basically have two levels you could pass to. I would prefer just tapping it up to Gouch and then letting him have a one-on-one with Jeetler with Quacky as a passing option. But yeah, just tap that up really softly. Let it just basically trickle up the boards and let him skate into it, because he has some room against Jeetler right here. So this will be lost coverage on Andrew Gaze again, I think. Wait. I know. Wait, what? I think I missed something or wrote something down wrong. Maybe, I don't know. That can't be right. So ignore the last minute. So right here, Zod, he actually ends up making a pretty decent play, but when he misses the puck here and it bounces off, I think he can curl into it, and kind of similar to what we saw with Gouch earlier, curl into it and try and time a backhand shot right away. So this puck will keep going here. You time your backhand shot. Your body is basically going to be facing, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Your body, well, yeah, your body will be facing the boards, and your stick will be like this. You shoot it, try and land, either take a good shot or just flick it in the air towards this guy, and either can receive it straight up because he's wide open, or just try and tip it in. But instead, a little bit of a weird angle. I mean, it's fine. He does make a nice play, a nice pass here. It's just, I'd prefer, there's a mistake there, but I was just mechanical. But yeah, I prefer just attacking it and trying to keep it in the zone. See, like, just turn, shoot. Receive it on your backhand. Don't receive it on your forehand here. Especially because this guy right here turns off. And you see that here. So, I mean, you do have time to be like, all right, I'm going to keep your stick like this, maybe one less angle. Receive it for like a split second, then shoot it towards the net. So that's it.